Greetings from the Ghost Planet. I'd like to catch up with my overdue appreciation towards the science guy for his excellent work at the Creation Museum's debate entitled Creationism as a Viable Model. Speaking on behalf of the gym, we salute you, Mr. Nye, on a job well done.
Yay!
The effects on this debate have been telling within the fundamentalist community. Something unforeseen by much of the little atheist commentary I encountered beforehand. I even noticed some big A atheist trepidation about this debate. But what Nye did is exactly what a counter-apologist is to do. Engage. If you go to a rodeo, the Broncbusters ride the bulls and the Broncos. To give you an idea of this creationist consternation, please allow me to provide a glimpse of the effects of this debate via a Christian apologetics site entitled Deeper Waters by a hardened evangelical located in rural Tennessee.
The Ham-Nye debate. Why I don't care. So why did I not even bother watching the big debate? Let's talk about it on Deeper Waters.
Let me spare you the inanity and cut straight to his money line.
It is my hope, not that Christians will embrace evolution, as I do not care about that, but that they will realize that it doesn't matter, and the ultimate hope is to realize that Jesus is the risen Lord of the universe.
Now, of course, I do realize you're questioning my interest in an evangelical from rural Tennessee. But nonetheless, this is exactly the area where rational thinking must go to. Hence, the wonderful 42 responses to this article, which only 4 are contributed by moi. Keep in mind the meta-statement by the evangelical.
I do not care about evolution and what it means to my religion.
Okay, the first comment is telling enough about science and technology education within our rural communities here in America.
Nick, there is much that you say here with which I heartily agree. And, like you, I'm not scientifically literate. In fact, I don't even know enough science to declare myself an old Earth creationist versus some other position as you do.
Notice how there is agreement without validation of this particular evangelical position. Validation as in methodical deduction. Mr. Gant was the foremost commenter in the thread supporting the creationist viewpoint, though not by any effort of Ken Ham's via his meager showing in the debate. Here's an excerpt of Mr. Gant's thinking writ large.
Rather, the Bible is using the creation that is visible to the naked eye to explain the invisible dimension which no scientific instrument will ever be able to detect or measure.
I replied in kind, but who cares? Let's get back to reality right away now and visit the go-to site for counter-apologetics, Kelsis blog, maintained by Matthew Wade Ferguson, an ancient history scholar and materialist. And please don't allow the pejorative meaning of the term materialist bother you too much. Once you disabuse yourself of the spiritual and supernatural realm, these things come forth naturally.
Yeah!
I asked him, MWF, hope you're doing well. What's your take on the Nye-Ham debate? Its effects with a link to that apologetics site of ongoing comments. Matthew did not fail to provide. Here's his excellent response in toto. Hey Bunto, I actually didn't watch the debate. I don't really even pay attention to creationists. But I have followed the memes afterwards, and I am very glad that Nye not only won, but also showed that he was open-minded, while Ham obviously would not be convinced by any amount of evidence. I also like how even Pat Robertson is now backing away from the creationists. I think that, despite all apologetic attempts, they are now losing that front, and I hope it will be followed by apologetic retreats elsewhere. These days, apologists are mostly retreating into philosophical and historical arguments. But I think as skeptics catch up with their games, they will have even less foxholes to hide in there. I also like that Nye, as a symbol of American education, clearly won and had better ideas. The most crucial thing we need in counter-apologetics is serious scholars, experts, and authorities calling out these apologetic arguments and appeals to evidence, quote evidence, that are little more than thinly veiled attempts to proselytize. I think that Nye's victory will not change the opinions of hardened apologists. Most will claim that they don't care about young earth versus old earth creationism, so long as Jesus rose from the dead, or there are good theological arguments for God. But it is an important victory for American culture and social progress that creationists are being exposed as scam artists. I think that creationism will lose a lot of popular favor in the years ahead, and that will be accompanied by a decline in religiosity as a whole. Finally, I don't really see how someone could, quote, not care, end quote, about the implications of evolution. I do not follow the debate. I don't really think that there is one, but it definitely has ramifications for one's metaphysics and Christian theological beliefs. Jesus allegedly had to die for our sins, because the first humans who were made in God's image disobeyed him. Yet, all the biological evidence shows that humans never existed in any perfect Eden state, but instead came from previous animals that evolved through a long and brutal process. How can we possibly say that there was any fall of man? What exactly did Jesus' resurrection save us from? The fact that we have demonstrably always been nothing more than intelligent animals who came about just as imperfectly as the rest of nature? I don't see the point of Jesus' resurrection without an initial fall of man. However, our biological and anthropological history shows that we never existed in such a state. We have always been imperfect cavemen formed by our environment, along with a dozen or so other hominids, not made in any divine image. Since evolution from common descent undermines the concept of Eden, and since the theological implications of Jesus' resurrection are tied to the concept of Eden, I think that the truth of evolution undermines the case for Jesus' resurrection. One can say that evolution is a scientific matter, and the resurrection is a, quote, historical, end quote, matter. But my science is not divorced from my history. Both systems operate together in my metaphysics, so that one cannot contradict the other. Whereas apologists seem to be the ones always making ad hoc assumptions to explain away disconfirming evidence. In the end, it shapes into nothing more than a series of rationalizations to explain way disparate effects, with the only unifying thing being Christianity is true. My naturalism is built on a cumulative case, and how anyone could build a cumulative case for Christianity when apologists can't even figure out the role of major features of our reality, such as evolution, in their theology and metaphysics escapes me.
Good shooting.
Well, that's all for now from the Ghost Planet. This is Bunto, and please remember, Counter-Apologetics, somebody has to take down the bullshit. Take care.
There's no stopping what can't be stopped. No killing what can't be killed.
There's something out there waiting for us.